This video has been resurrected from the archives. This was a video I was working on last year and during the end of September and ran into an issue and just now finally got a chance to get it all patched up. So there will be a point where I cut over from the old video to the new one, but it's mentioned in the video, and hope you enjoy. Now, the way we're going to fix our catastrophic issue of not having anywhere to plug this in at certain areas, so we're going to install the Retro 6 Master System Clean Power. So we already went over in a video how to take this apart and everything, so just a quick summary. You just start off by removing these 6 screws on the bottom. Then once the screws are removed, we pop the top off of this. Then on here you have the 5 outer screws that you want to remove, plus the one that is right here on the top. Then with those screws removed, you just remove this metal part, which it could get kind of stuck up on these parts, so you may need to bend them a little bit. And then just like in the video that we took it apart to clean it, make sure that you remove all of these screws that are around on here, just so we can get this board out of here. Then with those screws removed, you can just lift the board out. Then our next task is to remove this little heat shield right here. So we'll start with this screw on the top, and then the other 2 screws are on the bottom. And with that one out, we flip that over, and then we'll get these 2. The ones that do not have the little washers are the ones that go through the board to connect to it. The ones with the washers are ones that go directly into the heatsink area. Then we can just lift up and remove the heatsink. And that's all the exciting stuff that is hiding under it. So then what we are going to be doing is removing this part right here, the little plug. So the bottom side of the plug has these 5 different spots on here. We're going to have to remove the solder from all of those to have that drop down. This might get a little loud turning the fan on here. Also swapped on over to the soldering mat here. Just going to put a little bit of flux paste down here. And we'll start heating this up. Get our desoldering wick in there.
Metal rivers run like veins, heat it up and melt the chains. A spark, a hiss, a tiny flame. This ain't a craft, it's a game. Liquid silver, hold it tight. Fuse the pieces, make it right. Soaking up solder, watch it flow. Fixing the cracks where the circuits go. Drip by drip, it's taking hold. Soaking up solder, turning bold.
Okay, that's looking nice and clean there. So we have these posts we need to bend a little bit here, but then we should be able to get that popped out. Okay, those are bent. Touch up just a little bit here. There we go. Now I'm going to go over that with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol on a Q-tip. If you watch our other videos, you'll know that I mention it. It's at least 91% isopropyl alcohol, which we just buy it at Sam's Club in bulk, so it's not really that expensive at all. Okay, we'll get this nice and clean, get all the flux cleaned up, and there we go. That's nice and shiny. Just because the flux went through to the other side, I'll get that side clean too. There we go. That side looks nice too. So this is the little power thing. I'm actually going to hold on to it because it's in decent shape, so if I have to change one of those out, then I'll have that. And the part we had to bend the pieces on to be able to get it out, that's what kind of goes over it to help hold it in place. And now we have our clean power. Pop this open and take a look. So if this comes together, just go ahead and pop it apart. Sometimes this won't be fully open. You'll just want to take the screwdriver and pop it on through there just to get a plastic part popped out. What we will do first though is get our wires soldered in on this little board. So you have the opening for the positive and the ground right there. So we'll get those held in and solder them in place. Starting with the positive. And then the ground. Then we have both of those soldered in place. So in the way this is going to set in here, this plastic part, the screw hole goes in at that spot. So you want to take this piece and push it on through on this side so it's like that. And then the 4 screws, we'll go ahead and feed those into the screw holes. So this assembly will look like this once it's all screwed together. You have that little piece with the screw hole is down there on the bottom, screwed in, and the wires are on the top. So then the final board prep that we need to do, since our regulator isn't needed anymore, we can still leave it there, but we are going to bridge together this one here and this one here just to bypass the regulator. Because it's going from, I believe it was 9 volts, and we're just going to be making it do the 5 volts, so it doesn't need anything to convert it anymore. Start by giving this area a nice little clean. Then what we'll do is just add a little extra solder to both of these spots. A little extra there, and yeah, put a nice little glob there. And then this wire that was provided is the perfect length for this. So we got that side in. And we got that side in. Then we have 2 more spots to solder. We'll put this here lined up with that screw hole, and the end of the red cable is going to go to here, and the end of the black cable will go to here. So I'll get some extra solder in both those spots. Okay, so we have some solder to hook these two. We'll start with the red cable. Okay, red cable's in place, now the black one. Black one's in place, but needs a little more solder held down here. There we go, that's a nice little glob. So you can see from that angle kind of where they are soldered in now. So the next part is the fun part, time to put this all back together. Now before we can get this top shield put on, there is a slight modification we'll have to do to it. So on the side where the power area would go, we need to trim off this part here. So I'll just take this and do a little bit of trimming. There we go, we got that little piece off there. Now it might be a little sharp, so I don't know if you want to sand it down or anything. But I just got that sanded down some. Not to interrupt past me here, but things did not go as planned, and the video was recorded a September of 2024, so figured it's probably about time to get this back out and get this finished up. Mainly because I want to finish playing Phantasy Star, and also I got East for it since then, so I want to play that. Now in the video you saw everything about this getting hooked up and all that, but during the process of it getting hooked up and then actually testing it out, it was found the grounding cable came loose from there. So all that power was going through there, and at that point I didn't want to risk anything of potentially frying any capacitors. So if you notice, every single capacitor here is a different color. Just move the screen up there. I have everything plugged in. I will show you what happens when the power is turned on right now. So this LED lights up here, and the screen just goes to black. So what we're going to figure out now is, did I fry anything on the board, or is there just something else weird just going on with it? I will leave a link in the description for this, but we're going to be looking at Console 5's wiki for the Sega Master System. On here you can actually find all the schematics for the chips, but the first part on here of the Sega Master System is figuring out which one we have. So down here in this part, we have the M4 power base NTSC, and then there's this little number right down here. So we have 8376629, which then on here, that lines up with this one. And the first thing we will check on here is this IC9 encoder. So they have the nice pinout on there. And on the board, that is this chip right here. That's the one that gives the signal out to the TV. So we're gonna check that one first in our troubleshooting to see if we can figure out what's going on. Now the first thing we're gonna do here is pull out our multimeter and then move it over to the diode setting and hit mode to go to continuity test. So then I'll have like a little sound icon, looks like a sideways Wi-Fi icon up there. I don't need to have that on screen because this will make noises for us. And then if we look, there's legs 1 and 24 are ground. So let's first check to see if those connect to ground correctly. One of these up here, so we are touching the negative on here, and then the other one, we have 1, which is over here. It's actually marked as 1, there's 12, there's 13, and 24. So when we touch 1, okay, that's grounded out. 24 should also be, and then nothing else on here should be grounded out. Just checking each individual one really fast. So those ones seem good. The only ones that are fully grounded out are 1 and 24. And then the next things we have 12 and 19. Those ones should be connecting over to, we have this diode over here. We'll just connect it to this end. So 12 is right here. Okay, that one's good. And then 19 is right here. Okay, and that one is also good. So we at least have the continuity there. So let's go ahead and check out what voltage we're getting. I'm going to plug the power in, turn the system on, and then I'm going to set this to the 20 volt mode, since we'll be checking with this being USB-C. We should be getting 5 volts everywhere. So we'll go ahead and test right here just to make sure. Put that on the negative there. And then I'll put this one on the positive. And we have our 5.08 volts. So that's good. I'll keep that on the negative. And this part of the diode, we have 0.14. At the other side of the diode, 4.98. So on this side, 4.1. What are we getting on the chip? On 12, we're getting that 4.1. And then 19, we are also getting that. Is interesting. This might not be an issue with the chip itself. So we can go ahead and turn this off, unplug it. I'm going to flip this over, and then I'll plug it back in now. So we have that back in. I'll turn the power back on. I'll just set this on here for fun. So it's a reverse. This is the negative here, and this is the positive, so that should be 5. Okay, 5.08. So then following this down to here, 5.07. Then when the power is turned on, it comes through here, 4.96. That's fine, that's close enough to 5. And then this would be the diode right here. So that's at 4.97, and then this is the other end of it, 4.1. So we are losing some voltage in that diode. Turn this off, unplug this. So since we're losing in that diode, I didn't see it in the instructions. I'm going to pull it up again, see if there's anything. I'm thinking we may have to remove that diode and then bridge that connection. Well, there we have it. It looks like 7 months ago, Retro6 actually updated their YouTube video about this. So although not in the schematic and not on all versions, if you have the diode near the regulator, bridge over the pins to bypass the diode. Otherwise your output voltage will be too low. That makes this process a little easier for troubleshooting, so I'm going to turn on the exhaust fan. Might get a little loud here. And then we'll get this diode removed. We'll start by sucking up some of the solder here for it, using our good old solder wick. That side's good. And then we'll get this side of it. Okay, that side's good. Would have been smart if I grabbed my tweezers beforehand. Oh, that actually just came off. Didn't need to do any more soldering there. Or desoldering, whatever that stuff's called. You kids and your technology. So we have our little diode, and since this is a good working one, I am actually going to keep it for parts. So now I'm going to cut a little piece of wire from here, just so we can get our nice bridge going. Should be just enough. Get the ends off of here. My tools for making this part easier are still kind of packed away from moving into this office. So I have to make do with what I have right now. Just get that kind of twisted up a little bit. And then get the other side. A couple gentle clips. Got it. Twist that side up just a little bit. Then turn our loud fan back on here. Tin up the wire just a bit. Just going to get a little bit of solder directly on here. Then grab the wire and just get just the tip right on here. Okay, and then get the other side too. So then that should be good. And then I'll flip this back over so we can get our wire in place. It's not going to be a big loop like the other one, but it will just fit. There we go, just kind of folded it down a bit. And then that goes right down in there on both sides. Oh, it's just a bit too far for the clamp to hold it in place. There, we'll get creative here. Little piece of paper, fold it over a couple times. That should be enough to help hold it in place. And then flip this back to this side. And then that's perfect. Our ends are just sticking up through there. So they are moved to the side a bit. Going to turn on our noise machine. And then add some quick solder to there. Start with this side up here. Just a little dab on here. That's a good looking dab. Then on this side, get a dab down here. Remove our paper from there, because that should be good now. So then have the multimeter set for continuity test, just going to make sure that we get a connection from this point to here. So that's good because that goes through where the diode was. We have the bridge comes out there, and then we have the other bridge right there where the voltage regulator used to be. So that looks like it should be good. That's all flipped over. Those are still good. Plugging in power on there. So we have our USB-C in there. Video is still going out. Turn that on and let's see what happens now. We should have something. We have something awesome. So now we get to do the fun little test that was originally planned about a year ago to do with this. Of course, after putting it all back together. I know there were videos before of taking this apart and putting it back together, so I'm just going to kind of quickly go through this part. You don't really need my description for it, so cue the music.
Screwdriver spins the final twist. Wires tangled in a coder's mist. Circuit board whispers, hold your breath. This
And now we have this beast back together. Let's go ahead and try this one more time here. We have everything. Let me move that out of the way. That's even lit up right there. Kind of hard to tell with these other lights hitting it. I can turn those ones off. There's still other lights hitting it. There we go. So now you can see that that one's lit up. So then kind of the whole part of this video that was going to be a lot of fun, let's get moved on to that part. Welcome to my car. If your car has a little TV screen on it and HDMI and USB input, then you can have a lot of fun with this type of mod. Back when the Switch 1 came out, one of my friends and I actually sat in the car playing on one of the NES Classics while we waited for the system to launch at GameStop. So what you will need is one of these little beasts to convert the AV to HDMI. We will plug the HDMI cable into the car. And then out of the other end of this, we have our USB cable that needs to be plugged in. And then now to get the video from the Master System plugged into this. So we have the video all hooked up now. Let's get our game Sonic the Hedgehog put in here. Get our controller plugged in. And then the final step is plug in a USB-C cable in the back. And then change the input to aux. So something isn't quite working right on here. Oh, well, that's kind of disappointing. For some reason, it's only showing on part of the screen and it's not doing the full thing here, but it's hard to see on here. But we do have the game here, and you can actually like hear the sound and everything from it through the speakers. There we go, there's the Sega logo. So yeah, I'm pretty sure it is the upscaler that I'm using isn't converting it correctly to work in the car. But also my car is a 2016, so there's a chance maybe things won't quite work correctly in here. Though it was somewhat disappointing it didn't quite work in my car how I wanted, I am at least glad that the system's working again. And it works fine on the TV, so that's a big thing that matters. So yeah, after a little over a year, finally got this issue resolved and got the mod in place. And it's definitely a mod that I would do again if I can. Hey, I got the ring. It's just so much easier not having to worry about the big bulky power connectors. Go Sonic, you can do it. If you are interested in seeing any other videos for systems that have the USB-C mods put in, then let me know in the comments. I thought I still had my little star power, or whatever it's called in the Sonic games. I grew up as a Nintendo guy, so I don't really know Sonic names of things that well. Well, if you enjoyed this, then make sure to leave a thumbs up and subscribe. If you have any questions about it, then let me know in the comments. If you have done things differently with the troubleshooting, then also let me know that. There were a couple other videos that I had planned last year for the Sega Master System month of September, so I might go ahead and get those ones out. Since this is finally working, I just fell down a hole. It's a bubble. I want to thank you for watching. Have a nice day.
Thanks for watching our show today. We hope you smiled along the way. From pixel dreams to jokes we play. Like and subscribe, it's the thing to do. Join the crew, red, white, and blue. Gumtendo's here for you.